Hey people, it is Saturday, October the 26th, currently 4:19 in the afternoon and about 12 degrees Celsius. A rather seasonable day here in Toronto, and I am specifically in the former borough of East York in a neighborhood called Thorncliffe Park. And it's been several years since I've done a video in Thorncliffe Park. I thought I'd come back and check it out, and maybe check out this time the East York Town Centre, which is the shopping mall serving this neighborhood. It's a neighborhood mall, because last time I actually didn't go into the mall when I took a walk around the neighborhood. And you can see we're coming upon it right now. So Thorncliffe Park is a neighborhood that was developed starting in the 1950s as one of Toronto's first high-rise communities. This area was formerly part of the town of Leaside, which eventually merged with the township of East York to form the borough of East York. And as you can see, it is made up of many high-rise apartment buildings mixed with mid-rises and lots of industrial properties also all around the area. And currently, construction is moving through the area for the new Ontario line, which will be Toronto's newest subway line. So the residents here will finally have a proper subway line serving the neighborhood. That's expected to open around 2030, hopefully. I think the Ontario line will be mostly elevated through this neighborhood. So I'm going to take a walk through the mall here, and then after that I'll just take a walk through the neighborhood. And I might end up on the Leaside Bridge, where there's a fantastic view of the downtown skyline with all the fall colors. Just wanted to get a good close-up of the sign here. So this mall opened in 1960, I believe. And I think it had about 100 retail tenants. I'm not sure if that's still the case. And of course, over the years, the anchor stores have changed over many times. This whole area was once the site of a horse racing track. Sort of a good chunk of the early to mid 20th century. Before that, it was farmland. I think originally there were two anchor stores serving the mall, both of which no longer exist. A department store called Savette, which was a discount department store, and a grocery store called Steinberg's. Those are two names I have never heard before from a bygone era. The Savette was eventually bought out by Woolco, which of course was later bought out by Walmart. And then I think eventually that Walmart became a Zellers. And then after that became a Target, and we all know what happened to Target not long after entering Canada. And the mall was around 360 some odd square feet, 360 some odd thousand square feet in size. I'm not sure if I can access the mall from the food basics here. Let's just take a peek. I might have to go around to another entrance. Well, it looks like I can. So here's the food basics. This is obviously now one of the main anchors. So this is my first ever time inside this mall. So let's see if this mall is dead or alive. This is a pretty densely populated community, obviously with all the high-rise buildings. And it's also a very immigrant-heavy community. I think upwards of 3/4 of the population of Thorncliffe Park were born outside of Canada. With a good chunk of the residents being of Pakistani or Indian background.
You were looking for something?
No, I'm just recording a little tour of the mall here. Yeah.
I heard you say this is the first time I've been in here. I thought I should have asked you.
Yeah, I'm just doing a narrated walking tour of the mall. Yeah. Thank you, though. Well, that was very nice. She was thinking I was lost and needed some assistance. A big open concept sort of square here in the middle of the mall. Well, so far, my first impressions are it's certainly not a dead mall. It is very busy. And there doesn't seem to be too many vacancies from what I can see so far. I'm not sure what the long-term plans are for this property. I haven't heard about any redevelopment proposals. Of course, with the new subway passing through the area, who knows what might be in store. Oftentimes it does bring much densification to an already very densely populated neighborhood, as I mentioned. I'm not sure if this is a dead end over here. I might have to swing back around again. Kind of an odd layout. I see someone walking from somewhere over there. We'll find out, I guess. I might have to double back. That's one of the realities of doing these mall walks. I see a sign that says level 2. I'm not sure if that's a retail level or offices and that sort of thing. Got washrooms over there. Looks like this is a way out. I guess I do have to double back. I could have maybe went out and re-entered from another entrance. Well, it's nice to see kids still have fun hanging out at the mall. I thought that was a thing of the past. That's what I used to do when I was their age. This is kind of unusual the way it has this very large open section here. Yeah, you can see the plans for the Ontario line here. That's Thorncliffe Park up there. And it will get people downtown, lickety-split. Currently, you have to hop on a bus that will take you down to either Pape Station or Donlan Station, and then transfer onto Line 2. Got an LCBO and another way out over there. I do notice several vacancies actually over here on this side. I can see stairs go up to a second level, but there's really nothing up there. I don't know if at one time there were more stores up there. Well, we'll walk around this side now. Looks like they don't even want you to go up those stairs anymore. Yeah, this side of the mall is not doing so good. In any case, though, even with the vacancies, this mall is definitely not dead. I think I already walked through this area. No Frills is back up that way. I don't know, that might be it for the mall. Maybe I'll head out and we'll take a walk through the neighborhood. Continuing our tour of Thorncliffe Park. Okay, here's a map of the mall. So there's a lower level. How did I not see that? A Fit for Less, and a number of other smaller retailers. How do you get to the lower level? And the second floor really doesn't have much of anything, as I mentioned. Food Basics and Fit for Less seem to be the two main anchors now. I guess the Fit for Less was once the varying different department stores over the years. I'm curious now. Let's see if I can find this lower level. Well, okay, maybe this is it right here. I just didn't really take note of this staircase before going down. I only noticed it was going up. Well, what do you know? It's a good thing I looked at that map. This doesn't seem to be very retail oriented really down here. Mostly office space. I still don't see the Fit for Less though. Well, let's swing back around. Try to talk over the mall music here. It's much quieter down here. You can actually hear the music. Okay, Fit for Less is over this way. So let's check it out. I'll try to keep on talking over the mall music. Fit for Less is over here. Okay. What an odd configuration. I'm just wandering around through empty corridors now with very loud mall music. So if this was a department store at one time, I wonder what the layout was like when it was still used that way. I don't imagine it would have been as it is now. So that's it. And that's a pretty large space, that Fit for Less. It's the size of, you know, once a Wolco or a Zellers or a Target. Well, all right. I think now I've seen everything worth seeing in this mall. Let's see if I can find my way back up again. We got too many blank corridors down here. It's not exactly the most inviting space. Strange. I could do a lot more with this, really, I think. Now, where are those stairs? I think they're back this way. I don't know if it was really all that worthwhile coming down here. I see more over here, actually. Just more of these sort of weird offices. This sort of reminds me of the shops at Aura, the bizarre, mostly dead mall in downtown Toronto. Well, all right. I've really covered everything now. I'm just continually talking to try to cover up the music in order to avoid a copyright claim for those who don't know. That's a thing you gotta do. Unfortunately, popular commercial music and YouTube videos do not go together.
Okay, then you know this. Cut, cut.
Well, I didn't walk through this part before. And now, let's get out of here. See lots of towers rising over there. That's over by the Eglinton Crosstown line along Eglinton Avenue. Another new transit line that's under construction. That's basically completed, but just really delayed in opening. Apparently the finishing touches are going to take as long as the actual construction. Hopefully the Ontario line doesn't open before the Eglinton Crosstown opens. And walking through a nice big parking lot here. I wonder if there'll be a proposal to redevelop the parking lot with some new residential housing. That's happening along or to a number of other smaller neighborhood shopping malls. Those are the Leaside Towers. They were once among the tallest residential buildings in the city. They were built in the early 1970s. They still dominate this neighborhood. Although over in that direction, as I mentioned, those towers look to be perhaps as tall or taller. And a not so fun fact is the Leaside Towers were the home of one of Toronto's notorious serial killers. I think his name was Bruce MacArthur. think he even brought some of his victims to his apartment in one of those towers. I'm not sure which one it was. And here is the actual neighborhood. It sort of loops around the mall. It's a long circular road. We've got the Thorncliffe Park Public School over here. So it seems like the high-rise buildings on the outer side of the road and in the center here are more mid-rise buildings. As I mentioned, this neighborhood was first conceived and began development in the 1950s. I don't think it was until the late 1960s, around 1967, that the former town of Leaside became part of the new East York. East York was Canada's last borough. It retained its borough name right up until the amalgamation of the 6 boroughs and the old city of Toronto in 1998. The other boroughs had all decided to change their names to become cities, such as North York, Scarborough, and Etobicoke, and York also. East York said, no, we're good, we'll stay a borough. Although they all functioned as boroughs, even if they were trying to, call themselves cities. We got a by-election happening here. Remember, Anthony Furey ran for mayor in the last mayoral election. That's kind of hard to say. You'll hear some people talk about this neighborhood in a bad light, but honestly, I don't hear much in the news about gang activity or things of that nature taking place here you know, in recent years. Maybe in the past it might have had some issues with that. I'm not sure what the current situation is. There's another neighborhood nearby called Flemington Park, which is quite similar to Thorncliffe Park. It was developed a bit later, I think, but it's also a high-rise community with a large immigrant population. I do hear things about that neighborhood more often than this one in the local news. Not the prettiest buildings, admittedly. Definitely showing their age. Got like sort of homemade clotheslines strung across some of the balconies. I'm sure that works quite well though, especially on a windy day like this. There's a bus you can catch that'll take you to Pape Station. I took the subway from Bloor Young Station on line 2 over to Pape, and then I transferred to a bus and rode north along Pape Avenue through Pape Village on the bus. And I got off right before the Leaside Bridge. So I wanted to walk over the bridge and check out the views and take some pics. Newly renovated apartments available. Some of these buildings look pretty well kept though. I'm not sure what the breakdown is in terms of how many are market rental apartments, how many are perhaps condominiums, how many are public housing. I'm not really sure what the mix is. This is a cooperative here. There's a Greek Orthodox church. East York does have a large Greek community, but I always thought that was more centered in Old East York. This neighborhood now is very heavily Muslim, I believe. I think by a pretty fair margin. But maybe back in the day when this was being developed as a new area, maybe a lot of Greek families relocated here from the older neighborhoods. Grandstand Place. I think these street names harken back to the time when there was a horse racing track here, as I mentioned. So I've almost gone all the way around the big circle along Thorncliffe Park Drive. Montessori school. So I think I'm going to take us over to the Leaside Bridge. We'll check out that awesome skyline view with all the fall colors. You can see the mall over there. I think I might have to cross and cross again. There's some construction. Over Lee Boulevard. Ontario line. If I lived in this neighborhood, I'd be very excited about the arrival of the Ontario line. And that's pretty cool. Right straight ahead you can see the skyscrapers at Yonge and Bloor. The one which is under construction, and One Bloor East right beside. We'll get another look at those, along with the rest of the skyline once we're on the bridge. Have to contend with the sun also now, though. This is not the most exciting part of the walk, admittedly, right now. You can actually make out the skyline through the trees. Bit of a sneak preview there. See the financial district and the CN Tower. That bus is heading to Broadview Station. If I can make this light, oh, I was going to run, but it immediately turned yellow. And there's the approach to the East Side Bridge. That was built well over 100 years ago to connect this area to the rest of the city. Goes over the Don Valley. Looks like I can go. Have to watch out around here. The drivers are something else. So we're leaving Thorncliffe Park. So this will be my second time walking over this bridge today. Spy some buildings through the trees. Get a totally unobstructed view in just a moment. Of course, the sun will be also there. All right, the big reveal. Maybe I'll zoom in. And there she is. What a view. There were several times all during the year where I thought of taking a walk over here, but I always thought, let's wait until the fall when all the colors are in effect. So I was definitely patient in waiting it out. That's as far as I can zoom in though. Financial district eventually starts to disappear from view. All you're left with eventually are the towers at Bloor Yorkville. There goes the financial district. The CN Tower will mostly disappear. There's the lower Don River down below. And the Don Valley Parkway with its rush hour traffic. Doesn't matter if it's a weekend or not. The Don Valley parking lot will always live up to its name. And we are a very long way up. It seems much higher than the Bloor Viaduct. And this one does not have a barrier preventing jumpers, such as the one that was installed on the Bloor Viaduct. And then the towers of Bloor Yorkville also disappear behind the trees. But you can still make out Yonge and Eglinton over there. And the buildings of Thorncliffe Park itself. So that about does it. I hope you enjoyed the tour of Thorncliffe Park and the East York Town Centre Mall. Ending here with this awesome view of the Don Valley and the skyline with all the fall colors. So leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. What was the mall like back in the day when you used to come maybe years ago compared to how it is now? It's certainly not dead in any case. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store. Or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member, or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. Let me zoom out now. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue.